Hi. Good morning. I totally have a raspy voice right now because it's so early. Hi. So, this morning I thought I would do a quick 10-minute meditation on just kind of like I always enjoyed doing meditations myself, like before doing something that I might be a little bit nervous about, perhaps, or something that, I want to go well and I want to be in my best mindset so that I can be of best performance. I can be fully present in the moment and I can be completely here, doing what I'm doing in the best way that I can with all of my senses. So I would always look up meditations on just kind of like something real quick that I can do right before, I get up and you go on stage, or you go up to do like a school presentation, or it could be anything. It could be going up to tell your parents that you're pregnant or something, like anything. You could use it for literally anything. So I just thought it'd be cool to just try to figure out what comes through when we intend to sit here in meditation for just 10 solid minutes and kind of see what kind of comes up. And it's best to, in these moments, kind of play with a certain curiosity as to what it is that is causing you to be nervous, that's making you, like, maybe safely, if you can, in a safe way, play out the worst case scenarios, and realizing that even if that did happen, life would go on and you just do your best the next time. Nothing, the world's not going to explode. So maybe you could get into that. It's going to be a very individual experience. So I'm just here to kind of guide you through the foundation of it. So let's have an experience. So right here, right now, wherever you may be, you might be, depending on if you clicked on this video, surprisingly, you might be almost on your way out somewhere to go do something, do a show or something, or maybe just go to a job interview or something like that. So just kind of sit with whatever might be happening inside of you. Maybe you've been kind of numb to it for a little while, so really tap into it and ask yourself right here, if you want to lay down or sit down somewhere, close your eyes. Really just ask yourself for a moment, how do I really feel right here, right now? Am I excited? Am I nervous? Am I a strange combination of the two? And if so, what's the ratio look like from nervous and excited? Do you feel like you're about to do something very important to you or to the world? Just do your best to identify verbally with words what it is that you are experiencing bodily for a moment, just so we can get very, very present, and you can be aware of where you are, how you're dressed, if you're dressed really well. My cat just came through the door. He's gonna do meditation with us. Kitty, kitty. If you're doing something kind of like a concert or something, you're probably dressed all fancy, so you might have like some jewelry on if you want to touch your jewelry and just see how you got earrings on. Just kind of be present with what's going on, what you're about to do, and how you're not quite yet doing it. You're sitting here the moment before the moment, which is almost usually the most important moment. Right before the moment, right? Okay. So I like to go into deeper meditation the same way, always, through focus of the breath. And usually through box breathing, counting the breath in 4 counts. If you have your own preferred way of entering nirvana yourself, then be my guest. You can do it. I'm going to really focus on the breath now and do the box breathing technique myself, because that's what gets me there. And let's get into it. All right. Inhale. We're just going to do this for a little while. Hold the breath if you're following me for 4 counts. And then I'll exhale. And hold it. We'll just do this a few times to get us very, very relaxed and focused. Inhale. Hold it for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold it for 4. We'll do it 4 more times. Inhale. Hold it. Really expand your lungs to like their fullest capacity. Like you want it to be a very intense bodily experience. Exhale. Hold it. Kitty. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Hold it. I think we have 2 more. Inhale. To the very, very top. Hold it. And with the exhale, empty it out as much as you possibly can. And hold that for 4. And we're going to do 1 more cycle, so we can kind of get into the meat of the meditation. Inhale. Hold it. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Exhale. And hold it. And when you're ready, no rush. Let all that go and just take 1 big inhale, 1 big exhale. Do you want to come up here? Animals are a wonderful reminder of how not to take things super seriously, I feel like sometimes. Come here, cute guy. Let us begin. So from where you are, you might have had some kind of emotional shift happen from doing that. If not, you could still have your eyes closed. You could just be like, okay, I feel very much the same. That's okay too. Just sit with how you feel emotionally in this moment. If you feel excited, nervous, maybe a little sweaty, Maybe a little bit like you're having a hard time turning your thoughts off. If you're just about to participate in something that you've been anticipating for weeks, months, you can have like a lot of thoughts put into just one specific day, you know? So many thoughts about just something that only lasts a couple of hours usually, you know? Or maybe a whole day, maybe. But even then, that's a blip in the face of life and eternity. So, what I like to do when I want to just really forget all of the bullshit. I said that. And come into my best self so that when I go out, when I perform, when I am doing something, in the act of doing something that is very important to me, I feel like I was born for this, like I'm ready, like I'm just marching towards it, knowing that I am worthy and that I have everything I need. That's what that feels like. And when we're nervous, there's some aspect of us that is afraid or believes that something about us, perhaps, isn't good enough to really deliver the sauce. See if you know what I'm saying. Come up here, baby. So just notice that. I can say personally for me, it's really difficult to just have pure excitement for something. It always kind of seems to accompany nervousness, because then you start bringing in a lot of thoughts about the specific thing that you're wanting to do and wanting to be, and you can just lead you down a whole path of worries and what ifs, you know? So if that comes up, notice it, and you can move into it and kind of find where the core belief resides in, why the core as to why you feel that way, so that you can understand it and maybe shift it. So from where I stand, trying to think of the last time I had a really big thing and I was just so freaking nervous. I'll get nervous about a lot of things. So with where you are, if you feel nervous, for a moment, just for a few breaths perhaps, I want you to, in your mind's eye, really imagine. We're going to do this both ways, both in worst case and best case. But I want you to do the worst case first. Imagine, just for a few moments, in like blips of images in your mind, I want you to think about the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. If everything went wrong, what would that look like to you? Visually and auditorially, and all of your senses, through all your senses. What does that look like? You can have a lot of things come up. For me, personally, growing up as a kid, whenever I'd get nervous, I had an extreme fear of vomiting. So like my worst case scenario was like me getting up on stage and just projectile vomiting everywhere, which has never happened, but I've thought about it probably 1,000 times. So explore your own worst case scenario, and once that happens, you're still in the imagery. And what happens after that? There might be, a sense of feeling of like, oh my God, fear of embarrassment, of just having an experience happen and having to live through it. Yeah. We've all had that experience, that fear of that. Humiliating yourself. There's really no such thing, though, because we're all just each other. It's like a bunch of yous, people who are just you, and you're getting embarrassed that you just saw yourself do that. Okay, so with that, it was just kind of like a fun little thing. Some people never even really sit down and ask themselves what that looks like, their entire worst case scenario. And sometimes it's just nice to really walk through that and experience that and realize that you lived through it. And now we can imagine the best case scenario. Remember to keep breathing well, nice and deeply, with your eyes closed. We're going to envision the best case scenario for whatever it is we're looking forward to, or whatever it is that we have coming up. Maybe it's something happening in a couple of hours, or in 10 minutes from now. Whatever it is, if it's an event, or a concert, or a performance, a television show, a stupid school project, yeah. What's the best case scenario? If you woke up and everything just perfectly aligned, no struggle, you knew what to say at the right time, how to say it, complete confidence in your overall mind, body, and soul. Can you imagine how amazing that would feel? And just let it play out, all the images that come with really allowing yourself to think about the best case scenario. And breathe into it. See how it makes you feel. And then, if you're still nervous, that's okay. If you feel a little bit more loosey-goosey and excited, congratulations. For the last part of this meditation, I would like you to, for a moment, reflect. Whatever it is that you are preparing yourself to do and exercising yourself in order to show up and be your best version, think about what that is for a moment. What is it that you're dedicating so much of your time and energy and focus and dedication to? How does that make you feel? Do you remember the reason why you decided this is what I was going to do that led you to where you are right here, right now? In the moment before the moment before you go off and show everyone how freaking fantastic and superhuman you are. Think about that first spark in your heart that led you, that guided you to let you know the kinds of things that would pique your interest and therefore be the avenue from which your passions and the things that excite you, the things that you feel are important and matter the most, you get to make a step towards that and into that and embody it and see how in doing so, you're changing the whole world by living in your purpose. And when you're living in your purpose, and you're going out, you're just in that moment before you're going out to do something that's going to maybe impact a lot of other people. Being connected to everything that really is you, nothing can go wrong. Sorry. Even if you are a little bit nervous, if you really get yourself to relax and let your spirit guide you, everything goes right. And it feels even crazier because it doesn't even feel like you're really trying to do anything. So, for a moment, like for me, the images that come up to me is obviously coming up and going on a stage and playing live music somewhere, which is something I've done 1,000 times. Not 1,000, probably like 30. And I get super, super nervous. And I really needed something to just kind of sit me down and calm me down and remind me what it is that I'm really doing. I'm not trying to prove anything. Because I feel like a lot of times people go out with, and I do it too, honestly, with just about anything that I do, honestly. You have something, you go out, and you present it from a place of, like, being like, is this worthy? Are you worthy of this? Like, is this good information does this even have any value? Like, you're unaware of whether or not something you hold or have created has any value. But then when you're connected to spirit, you realize that, oh my God, that thing that you have is the most valuable thing you could ever even possess. Because it's who you really are at the end of the day. When everything else falls apart and disappears and turns to ashes. Anyway, that got off topic. But keep that in mind. From where you are, I think it just really eases a lot of nerves when you realize you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to feel exactly how you're supposed to feel. And if things don't go exactly how you would like them to go, that's all right. It's not a test. You're not being graded on how perfect you did. Nope. You're here to have an experience, and what matters the most is how you, the experiencer, are experiencing the experience. I know based off of personal experience myself how difficult it can be to not be nervous when you're in the midst or about to go do something that should be really, really exciting. Like, there should not be any kind of reason to really be, nervous. Whether it be like a social event or something like that. Something that I let my anxiety get the best of me because I just had a pattern of having anxious thoughts about everything. So it would just happen with anything that I had literal pure excitement for at one point. Eventually I'd start piling on a lot of anxious thoughts, which would completely taint the excitement altogether. It would turn it into a thing that would just be more torturous, because it's like I should be having so much fun. I could be if my mind wasn't torturing me right now. So I totally get it. So if you are on the same boat with me on that, I want you to just take a really deep breath. We're almost at the end of this meditation, I promise. Here we are. Just take a nice deep breath. And exhale it all out. I feel you. I really do. And sometimes it can feel like There's no escape to it, ever. You're just never going to be able to, like, go out and have a fun time with no worries about anything. Because that's your reality, and that's what it truly feels like. And the thought of that ever not being the case just does not sound like something that people do or achieve. But it is, and I'm actually living proof for it today. It starts with very, very small things. Making tiny shifts in the way that you talk to yourself and the way that you treat yourself. And the way you have to observe the way that you think about things. When you have something coming up and you're like, oh my God, I have to remember to do this and do it this way, and blah, blah, blah. Really observe how that mental dialogue unfolds within you. It can kind of surprise you sometimes. You'll be like, damn, I'm negative to myself. So, it's probably about that time for you to go do that thing. Maybe. I love you. I believe in you. I hope that you have a wonderful, whatever it may be. I hope you have a wonderful next couple of hours or minutes or seconds, whatever it is. I love you. I believe in you. I trust you. And I know that you're amazing. And I know that you know that too. So we don't even need to act like you're not going to do fucking amazing. Thank you guys. I love you. This was a weird ass meditation. But I just do whatever comes out of my trashy mouth. So thank you. You're going to do awesome. And I know it. And when you do, you better come back on this meditation and comment below and tell me how well you did so I can praise you some more.